Oh, listen up. Listen up. Listen up. Do not only listen when it's convenient. Here's what I mean. Most people want to stay on a path, right? They want to stay on focus mode. They want to be focused. They want to get their shit together. They want to live their life in a way where it's like, okay, you know, I want to live in positivity. You see this? I want to stay in purpose. I want to make moves, and they do these things only when it's convenient. Listen to what I'm saying. Only when it's convenient. Only when it feels like, hey, you know what? This is the time to do this, right? This is the right time to do this. Or when there's a crisis that happens, right? A crisis happens. Something throws you off your game, and you know, you've been running away for so long, escaping your problems for so long. You fell off for so long. Whatever this is, right? Falling off. Excuse me. You're falling off. Then one says, I got to make moves. I got to make changes. I got to start getting my shit together. You hear this all the time, right? And most people only do this when either there's a crisis or when it's convenient, right? When it feels good. Okay, cool. Now let me get my things together. Let me stay focused. Let me stay locked in. Let me listen. Let me listen when it makes sense to listen, right? And let me run away when it makes sense to run away. This is the balance, right? You got to have the balanced lifestyle. This is what people are doing, living this balanced lifestyle, right? Let me balance myself. Let me escape sometimes. Let me fall off sometimes. But then when it gets to that direction, let me stay focused. Let me go get focused. Let me do this. Let me do that. They get hungry. They get focused. What is my point? People listen only when they want to listen. People make moves only when they want to make moves. People want to stay focused only when they want to stay focused. Now, how can you create this as a way of life? Meaning not in this super stoic, can't do anything else, just straight serious face, focus mode. That's all depending on how serious you are about what it is that you're doing. We're talking about how can you create an entire life that you do not want to escape from? How can you create an entire life where every move you make is built on the foundation of this mentality that is focused, this mentality that wants to be clear, this mentality that wants to be aware, right? We're talking about awareness here, nothing else but awareness, right? A mentality that wants to understand itself, a mind that wants to understand itself. How can this be a way of life, right? How can this be a way of life to the point? It's not the, hey, I'm falling off one day, and people use these words, falling off, as if it's a practice, right? As if, hey, I have to discipline myself to live this certain way. I have to discipline my life to stay locked in. I got to discipline myself rather than saying, no, this makes sense because this is what's best for me, right? Living a life of awareness, living a life of clarity. That means how you do anything is how you do everything, right? And if you were all in, if you were to commit, if you made that decision to understand yourself, to not be lost, to not be clouded, to not be foggy, and you go all in, then your entire life is built on this way. There is no conflict. There is no such thing as falling off. This is called a perspective change, right? A perspective change. And this is the thing that most people haven't had yet. And this is the thing that we need to understand. Most people have not had a perspective change, a true perspective shift to say, yo, this is the move, or this is what I prioritize most, right? Nothing else but understanding oneself. Now, does it mean, wait a minute, that you don't do the other things? Does it mean that you don't enjoy life? Does it mean that you don't laugh? You don't have fun? Does it mean that you don't go see family for Thanksgiving? What does this mean? What does this mean, Anthony? What are you telling me, right? What are you, just nothing else? We're talking about being above it all. Being above it all. Even if you're doing things or whatever you decide to do, you do it with the mentality of an aware and a clear mind, right? Understanding why you do what you do. It's about total awareness. There's no right or wrong way to live. We're talking about just understanding the consequences of each move that you make, right? Now, for most people, they think it's a conscious thing. They think this is something that has to be disciplined. This is something that, all right, Anthony, so I have to just be consciously aware every time. You want me to stay, on this path, right, of focusness. If you want me to stay on this path of hardcore, all in, and people apply effort. I'm not talking about applying any form of effort. I'm talking about changing your perspective where there is no effort. This is just who you are. Can you get to that point? Is it possible for you to get to the point where you've changed your perspective, that you no longer apply a form of discipline or effort? Now it's a state of being. It's a way of life. How you observe, questioning, right? Making certain decisions, knowing that you are influencing the future towards a certain direction, right? Knowing that you are making moves and influencing the future towards a certain direction, right? And that you have put yourself in this position with every move you've made up to this point. Can it be a state of being? Is it possible? Or is it discipline forever? Is it I'm on when I want to be on and I'm off when I want to be off? What does that even mean, right? I fell off. It's like, how do you fall off something that you understand, right? How is that possible, right? Why is it not called just this is my entire life? People want to break themselves up in fragments. They want to say this is my higher self. This is my lower self. This is my positive side. This is my dark side. This is my higher frequency. This is my lower frequency. What if we cut all those things off and we just look at self? What would life look like if we just looked at self? If we just looked at ourselves, not higher and lower, we just saw ourselves for who we actually are. And the decisions that we make and where that comes from and the things that we want in life. If we can have our perspective that way, then you would just live, right? You will live and you will build a life on top of this foundation. When you want to understand, right? When you want to understand, there's a perspective change. When you just want to accept, when you just want to feel good, then there's discipline. Listen to what I'm saying. There's discipline. There's commitment. Meaning there's not commitment. There's effort. There's effort. I got to put effort into this every day. I got to make this a practice. I got to remember the words by saying it over and over again. I have to just force myself to do these things. It's like, no, that's not the point of any of this stuff that I'm talking about. That's not the point. The most aware and the most clear do not apply any form of effort psychologically. Think about what I just said right now. This is information that I've only said on my podcast and never said on my live, right? The most aware, the most clear do not apply any form of psychological effort. Okay, stay focused. Okay, come on. All right, ready? Let's go. All right, come on. You got this. You can do this. And have to do some sort of 5 steps to success. No. The most aware, the most clear have a perspective shift and see things for what it actually is and don't judge itself for the moves that it's making. Right? It doesn't judge itself. It understands itself. I know why I'm doing these moves. I'm above the illusion. I'm above the fantasy. I'm above all of the confusion. Right? I understand. So then you build an entire life with this clarity. You remove yourself from certain situations. You remove yourself from certain environments. You remove yourself from certain relationships. You remove yourself from certain jobs. You remove yourself from things because you see it clearly. Oh, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing this. And I'm not interested in this. And this is slowing me down. And this is this. I'm not doing that. There's a perspective shift. But when you have no intention, when you have zero intention, I'm talking about zero intention. And I've seen this, zero intention to understand, right? Zero intention to shift your perspective. Then there's a form of effort. Then there's a form of, 10 steps to how to stay focused. Then there's a form of, Okay, I'm trying to balance out the misery, balance out the conflict. I got to balance out the conflict. I got to balance it out, right? Because I have no intention to reposition myself, because if I do, there is destruction. Listen, fam, I hope you're paying attention to this. I really do. With awareness, with truth, with clarity, there is destruction. Meaning destruction of the illusions you've created in the mind. Destruction to the old ways of being. Destruction to the conflict, right? Destruction to the fantasy. It's destruction. It's like what happens when you see a magic trick, right? Wow, it's great. This guy can levitate. But what happens when you see the strings on the magician's back, right? Now it takes away the illusion, right? Now you see the strings and the wires and the crane and the things that are pulling him. And you're like, oh, wait a minute. I thought he was levitating on TV, but behind the scenes, you can see this guy freaking, you can see you can see the wires. What does that do to the mind? It totally destroys the illusion, right? It destroys it. You see the illusion on TV. It looks great. Wow. Fantasy. Wow. This is amazing. And then when you see how it's done, it kind of just kills it. You will never see it again the same way. It's the same with the facts. Psychologically, many people have bought into illusions. Many people have balanced out conflict. Many people are applying some sort of effort to stay on a path that they always fall off from, right? Saying, I want to become better. I want to better myself. I want the righteous way. Whatever this is, this path that they committed to, instead of seeing things for what it actually is, instead of having a perspective shift, right? Because when you see the truth of it all, it destroys it instantly. Seeing is action. And when you see the facts behind the moves you're making, and when you see the facts behind the things that you bought into, when you see the facts, right, of the moves that the facts behind the moves you make, the thought process behind the moves you make, there's clarity. There's instant action. Yo, I see it. Action. Boom. I'm taking action. I see it. There's destruction when you see it. Now the question is, let me ask you this. First of all, you guys on here? Are you guys on here? Give me some fire emojis if you're following me. Give me some fire emojis if you're following along the way. If you're watching this play out in your mind. If you are listening intensely, you're like, oh shit, I get it. Okay, I see it. Give me some fire emojis if you see what I'm saying here. Because I just don't want to be talking and then people are just confused. Anthony, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Let me know who's on here, fam. Okay, cool. I see the fire emojis. Okay, you guys are on here. Cool. I'm looking for my headphones. Okay, cool. I see the fires. Okay. All right. So listen. Is it possible for one to not want to see the facts? Is it possible for one to want to stay ignorant? Think about what I'm saying. Is it possible, if I want to hold on to a life of conflict, I want to hold on to comfort, psychological security, psychological safety, if I want to hold on to those things, knowing that the facts, clarity, awareness will bring destruction to these things. Kind of like the magician. You can see him levitating, and then once you see how it works, it kills the illusion. Is it possible that one wants to stay lost? Is it possible that one does not want to see or understand? Is it possible? Is that possible that most people would choose and decide to not change their perspective? Because if they change their perspective, it will put them in the complete new. In the complete new. We're talking about in the total new. in the new. We're talking about in the new, to the point that to the point where you see things from a totally different perspective, and everything that you've built with a lost mind comes to an end. Because again, seeing is action, and the truth causes disruption, right? And destruction to all the conflict, the illusions, right? The fantasy. Is it possible that one says, I don't want to see the facts? It's easier It's easier, right? You're right, 100%. It's easier, but if you look at it, is it actually easier when you're confused, living in conflict? Is it actually easier when you're lost and you're like, I don't understand what it is that I'm doing with myself? I don't know what it is that I'm doing myself. Why am I so lost? Why am I so confused? Why is there depression? Why is there anxiety? Right? Why do I feel like life is meaningless? Why do I feel all these things that people ask themselves? Right? All of these things that they ask themselves. And at the same time, if one were to see the facts behind the moves that they're making, the truth behind the moves they're making, then it will cause destruction to all the illusions and all the stories they've created in their mind. Now, this is what I'm saying. Is it possible that one wants to stay lost? Is it possible that one would want to see the truth, right? So they say they want to see the truth about themselves and the moves they're making psychologically, right? And once they get close to it, they try to alter what they see. No, that can't be it. No, this is something else, right? Is it possible? Now, this is deep. This is deep. This is deep stuff that if you're serious, you're diving into it. If you're following, you're diving into it, right? You're seeing it right now play out. Let's see it play out, right? I'm getting this close to the facts. I'm questioning myself. I'm making moves. I'm making changes. And then there comes a certain point that decisions have to be made. Decisions have to be made. We're talking about real decisions that will alter and change your entire situation. Is it possible that I alter what I see because I don't want to make these moves? I don't want total transformation. I don't want total awareness. I don't want total clarity, right? Because it will put an end to all the things I've built with the lost mind. So I alter the facts, right? I don't go all in. I fall off on purpose because falling off means it's much more pleasurable, right? Whatever this is, I go like this, meaning falling off, like there is no being on or off. However, psychologically, I'm so divided that I view life this way. I'm on the path and then I'm off the path and then I'm on this path, this random path, and then I'm on this other and I'm not on this path. It's like people psychologically divide themselves. Instead of calling it just life, they live in fragments psychologically. But why does one do that? Is that more pleasurable for people? Is that more pleasurable for people to alter the facts, to alter what they see on purpose? Listen, on purpose. Because if I were to commit to seeing the truth behind the moves that I'm making, it will destroy all my illusions. It will destroy my fantasy. It will destroy everything I've built up to this point. I'm so clear. I'm so aware. Now the things that I do, I no longer have interest in. So what life do I create now? And that's the fear that most people have. And that's the reason why most people will balance out the conflict, right? Do we see this, fam? Yo, fam, we're getting deep this morning on this Friday morning. We're getting deep. We're getting deep. You guys on here? You guys see this? Do you see this play out? Can you see this? Can you see this play out? It's so clear. It's so clear to me. It's so clear. It's so clear. I would choose to live in conflict. I would choose to live. So I'm talking about psychological conflict. I would choose to live this balanced mentality, right? This balanced life, in a balanced way. Everything's about balance, right? I would choose to live this way. I want to be lost sometimes and I want to be aware sometimes. Do we see this? Can you guys see this? How people want to be aware sometimes and lost some other times. Like it's the facts, and let's not judge that. Let's not say, oh, it's sad. That's sad, but true. Let's not say, oh, I can't believe people are like this. No. Let's take this seriously to the point where we step back and observe things for what it actually is without judgment, right? Is it possible that one wants to stay lost? One wants to be confused. One wants to fall off and have this idea of being on and off instead of looking at life for what it actually is from a holistic point of view. It's a on one day, off the next day, because it makes life feel much more interesting. So they think, living in conflict, right? There's no problems in the world. There's no problems in my mind I'm looking to solve. So I create artificial problems. I create problems because these problems give me meaning, right? Think about what I'm saying. Think about it, right? There's no real passion, no real purpose, no real interest in understanding myself. So I create problems because that's what we are. We're human beings. We're built to solve problems, right? We're built to solve problems. We're built to observe. We're built to make adjustments. So now it comes to the point like, hey, okay, because I have nothing that I'm intensely looking to solve or intensely looking to understand. We're talking about real shit, psychological shit that I'm looking to understand. I got to create my own problems. And through my lifestyle, through the way I live, through the way I move, through the things that I prioritize, I create my own problems. And these problems mean needing to solve, right? It means I need to solve them. So now that I need to solve them, I have something to focus on. Do I want the balance? Do I want them? When I say balance, I'm not talking about having a balanced life where, hey, I'm working here and then seeing the kids here. I'm not talking. We're talking about psychologically. Total awareness, lost and confused. Total clarity, fogginess. Truth, fantasy, illusions. Do I want both? Do I want both at the same time if I'm not truly interested, right? It's very interesting. Interesting shit. How many of you are finding this live valuable, fam? Give me some hearts. I want some heart emojis. I want some love emojis. Give me some love. Give me some love, family. Who's feeling this live? There's only a little bit of us on, which I expected. Give me some hearts, fam. Give me some hearts up in here. Some heart emojis. Awesome. Yo, I'm out of here, fam. I love you guys. Yo, have an amazing weekend. Also, there's a 40% off deal. The Liquid Truth, my coffee shop. I'mACoffeeCo.com. 40% off the entire store. I just did a post about it. Go on my page. Go see the promo code. Go take advantage of this deal. I'm never doing this deal ever again. I'm basically giving you free coffee. I'm almost giving you free coffee with this deal. 40% off. And go check it out. And enjoy the rest of your day, fam. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. I'm posting this up on YouTube. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Take care, fam. Peace.